Dear students, today we are going to study construction of a syntax tree. An abstract syntax tree is a condensed form of a parse tree useful for representing language constructs. So, a syntax tree is a condensed form of a parse tree. For example, if I take a production, S can have the form of if B then S1 else S2, where S1 and S2 are the statement 1 and the statement 2 for the condition B. It can be written in the form of a syntax tree as if then else, if B then S1 else S2. In a syntax tree, the operators and the keywords do not appear as leaves. I repeat, in a syntax tree, the operators and the keywords do not appear as leaves, but rather are associated with the interior nodes that would be parent of those leaves in the parse tree. So, if I am going to construct a syntax tree, the operators and the keywords do not appear as leaves, but are rather associated with the interior nodes that would be the parent of those leaves in a parse tree. The construction of a syntax tree for an expression is similar to the translation of the expression into postfix form. So how do we construct it? That is, construction of a syntax tree for an expression is similar to the translation of an expression into the postfix form. We construct subtrees for the sub-expressions by creating a node for each operator and operand. The children of each node in a syntax tree can be implemented as a record. So we are going to construct it for a syntax tree that each node is going to be implemented as a record with several fields. In the node for an operator, one field identifies the operator and the remaining field contains pointers. So if I am going to take as a node for an operator, for example, because operator is going to be the interior nodes of a syntax tree. So that node for an operator, in that one field would be identifying the operator and the remaining fields would contain pointers to the nodes for the operands. For example, if I am going to take it as x plus y, so plus is going to be an operator where x and y are going to be the operands. So x and y would contain the pointers. The operator is often called the label of that node. So operator is going to be represented as a label. When used for translation, the nodes in a syntax tree may have additional fields to hold the values or pointers to values of attributes attached to the nodes. Now, basically for constructing a syntax tree, we make use of three functions. mk node, where mk represents make node with the parameters as op, where stands for an operator. Left and right is going to be the operands, that is 1 and 2. So creates an operator. So what this function is going to do? This function is going to create an operator node with the label. As already I have told you, the operator is going to be termed as a label. So with label op and two fields containing pointers to the left and the right. Second function is an mk leaf. So by the name itself, the function is going to make a leaf, that is construct a leaf with the parameters as id, comma, entry. It creates an identifier node. So I suppose you are clear with that word identifier. So it creates an identifier node with the label id, with the label id. Here the label was op, here the label would be id, the identifier, and a field containing the entry, a pointer to the symbol table entry for the identifier. So this id is going to be having the entry, means it's a pointer to the symbol table entry for that identifier. The third one is again it's an mk leaf, that would be for a num, that's a number, num comma val. It creates a number node. Here it's an identifier node, it's a number node with label num and a field containing val, that is a value of that number. So basically we are going to use with three functions: mk node, mk leaf, one mk leaf for id, second is for num. So continuing with an example, for an expression a minus 4 plus c, we are going to construct a syntax tree. In this sequence, p1, p2 and p3 and so on p5 are pointers to nodes, and entry a, entry c are pointers to the symbol table entries for identifiers a and c respectively. So if I am going to take with the previous slide, that is mk node, that is make node, mk leaf, one is for an id, that is an identifier, second is for a number. Based on this example, we have two identifiers, that is a and c, we have a number 4. So if I am going to construct the syntax tree, that is I am going to make with a sequence of pointers p1 mk leaf id comma entry a, p2 that is mk leaf num comma 4, p3 mk node that is minus p1 comma p2, p4 that is mk leaf id comma entry c, p5 that is mk node plus p3 p4. Now if I am going to construct a syntax tree for this one, before that one, let us go with this same example, how we have got it in terms of a parse tree. If I am going to take the same example, that is a minus 4 plus c, if I am going to construct an annotated parse tree for this one, how it would be, e can have the form of e plus t, e can have the form of e plus t, e can have the form of t, t can have the form of id, e can have the form of t, t can have the form of num, and t can have the form of id. Based on this set of productions, e can have the form of e of 1 plus t, already discussed, e of 1 represents the second occurrence of e in the same production. E can have the form of e of 1 minus t, e can have the form of t, t can have the form of bracket of it, t can have the form of id, t can have the form of num. So based on these productions, what we are doing is we are constructing a parse tree. So if I am going to construct a parse tree with e dot nptr, where nptr is representing new pointer dot nptr, where dot nptr it represents the semantic rule, where dot represents an attribute for that grammar symbol. So e is associated with an attribute, that is new pointer. So what I am going to do it over here, that is e can have the form of e plus t, e can have the form of e minus t, e can have the form of t, t can have the form of id for our input, that is a minus c plus a minus 4, that is plus c. If this is going to be my parse tree, based on the parse tree I am going to construct the nodes now. As we can see it, e can have the form of t and t can have the form of id. So t can have the form of id, t can have the form of id. So t can have the form of id. What is the semantic rule? T dot nptr, that is a new pointer is equals to mk leaf, that is make leaf for the id dot comma id dot entry, that is entry to the symbol table. So what we are doing it over here, that is t dot nptr, I have created a leaf for id, that is entry to the symbol table for identifier a. Now this is going to be for the e. Now what I would be taking, I would be taking for t, that is t can have the form of num. So t can have the form of num, the associated semantic rule t can have the form of num is t dot nptr, again a new pointer, that is mk leaf, it's going to construct a leaf, that is num comma num dot val. So what I am going to do it, I am going to construct the leaf num comma val. So num comma num dot val. What is the num dot val? 4. So this is going to be constructed with the leaf. So just now we have with two leaves. So this two leaves is going to construct to this one, that is e can have the form of e minus t. This is going to be for the operator, that is minus. So e dot nptr, that is e can have the form of e minus t. If I am going to take with e can have the form of e minus t, the semantic rule is e dot nptr is equals to mk node, means it's going to construct a node for minus. So E can have the form of E of 1 minus t, that is E dot nptr is equals to its make node. So it's going to construct a node with the operator as minus E of 1 dot nptr and t dot nptr. So E of 1 dot nptr is going to be this leaf, that is id. T dot nptr is going to be this leaf, that is num4. For this E dot nptr, as per the semantic rule that we have seen it, E can have the form of E minus t. It's going to construct a node for the operator minus. So I am going to construct over here for this nptr, that is minus, with the two left and the right of the operands. So left is going to be the pointer to the symbol table. So this is going to be the pointer, that is the new pointer that we have constructed over here. So as per our syntax tree, this is going to be the P1, this is going to be the P2 pointer. So this is minus P1 comma P2. Now once we have generated for this one, now we need to generate for this one. But before generating for this one, I need to get the output of this T dot nptr. So T dot nptr, moving on with the semantic rule, T dot nptr, that is T can have the form of E. So it's going to be as T can have the form of E, T can have the form of id. So it's going to be again a make leaf. So I'm going to construct the make leaf. So I have constructed a leaf for the id, that is C. Now as I have got this one also, I have this also, I would be constructing for this one. So this is E can have the form of E plus T. So the semantic rule represents E can have the form of E plus T, that is E dot nptr is equals to make node, mk node. So again a node is going to be constructed over here. So what it would be, constructing the node, it would be as plus, again left and the right. Here this side left is going to represent to this point, this pointer. So this is going to be with which pointer, that is it was P1, this was P2, this is P3. So this is going to be P3 comma, this is going to be the P4, and this is going to be generated for P5. This is what we have represented over here with this one. So in the order of the evaluation for the syntax tree, P1 is mk leaf id entry A, second one was leaf for the num4 P2, third one was for the make node for minus, that is P3, with the left and right as P1 and P2. Then it's P4, again it's make leaf, that is for id C. Last is P5, again for constructing a node with the plus as the operator and P3 and P4. This is how we are constructing the syntax tree for a given sentence. So I repeat it, this is the parse tree. Based on this parse tree, we are going to have the grammar with the production rule. We are going to write down for that grammar production rule the semantic rules. Semantic rule means with the grammar symbol we are associating it with dot representing an attribute value. So E is going to be represented over here as dot nptr, where nptr represents new pointer. So that is what we have represented it over here as P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. So this is going to be with again mk node E dot nptr, T dot nptr is equals to E dot nptr, T dot nptr, that is for the make leaf, this is for the num, that is number. And finally we have got it with this converted to this leaf. This is also a leaf. This is the interior node. The interior node in the syntax tree represents an operator. The interior node represents an operator, where leaves it represents the symbols. So if I am going to, this is what the final syntax tree, but we have got it constructed over from here. So we can just see it. This is what the syntax tree is constructed based on the semantic rules. This is what we have got the final output now, that is plus with left and right. This is again a node for minus, that is left and the right. In this way we have got constructed the syntax tree for the given input. The complete explanation over here is given, that is the tree is constructed in the bottom up. The function calls mkLeaf, and the mkLeaf construct the leaves for A and 4. The pointers to these nodes are saved using P1 and P2. The call mkNode minus P1 P2, then construct the interior node with the leaves for After constructing a syntax tree, we can go with a directed acyclic graph, that is a DAG, for an expression that identifies common sub-expressions in the given expressions. So there may be some statements in which a sentence in which we would be having some common sub-expressions. Like a syntax tree, a DAG has a node for every sub-expressions of the expression. An interior node represents an operator and its children represents its operands. The difference is that a node in a DAG representing a common sub-expression has more than one parent. That is the only difference between a DAG and a syntax tree. It's the same form of a syntax tree. The construction itself is the same. The only difference is that the common sub-expressions has more than one parent. In a syntax tree, the common sub-expressions would be represented as a duplicated subtree. For example, a plus a into b minus c plus b minus c into d. Looking onto this input, we may find that a and a, it's a common sub-expression. We have b minus c and b minus c, again it's going to be a common sub-expression. The leaf for a has two parents. The leaf for a has two parents because a is common to two sub-expressions, a and a into a b minus c. Likewise, both occurrences of the common sub-expression b minus c are represented by the same node, which also has two parents. This is a DAG representation. Now, if I am going to construct a syntax tree for the same one, if it would have been, how it would have been? It would have been plus, here it would have been a, here also it would have been a, so there would have been two representations of the a, then multiplied, here it would have been minus b minus c 1, and this side also it would have been minus b minus c. So we would have got 2b minus c and 2a. What we had done it in the DAG is that we are having more than one parent. So for this b minus c, the parent is going to be with this sub-expression, whereas this sub-expression also. So this b minus c, we are not representing it into two different, but it would be represented in a one single. Same way, representing 2 times a, this is going to be represented by one single. This form of representation of a syntax tree is represented as directed acyclic graph. Now, if I am going to take with this example itself, the same example, now if I would have been constructing a syntax tree for that one, how it would have been? P1 is equals to mk leaf, that is id comma a, the first of this one a. I have got this for the a, but to generate this node I need this output. So to get this output I need to have this leaf. So the next one would be P2, that would be equals to mk leaf id comma a. Now I have got two leaves, but now to get this output I need to get this output of b minus c. So what it would be? It would be as leaf b, then leaf c, then it would be constructing the mk node, that is minus, that is p3 and p4, that is b minus c. Then after this would be generated based on the output of this node. So how it would be? It would be as mk node asterisk p2. What is p2? That is a. What is p5? The minus output, that is b minus c, that would be multiplied. Then it would be added with which one? p1. Again it's a with p6, the total output of a into bracket of b minus c. This output is p7. So p7 is going to represent till this sub-expression. Till this sub-expression is going to represent the p7. Now coming to the second half, the next part, P8, it would be again b minus c, because we need to construct it for this one, that is this lower end, that is b minus c over here. Now after constructing this b minus c, it would be multiplied by this d. So I would be having again a leaf for the d, that is constructing a minus, and thereafter constructing the minus, you will be having for D. So I am going to take it for this D also. So it's going to be B minus C into D. Now the final output that would be added with the previous one. So it's going to be with MK node multiplied by P10, that is B minus C, into P11, that is D. Now the final output that you are going to generate it is P7, that is the sub expression A plus A into bracket of B minus C, the complete output that would be added with this second part. This complete part is going to be added with this second part. This is how we are constructing the syntax tree. Now what we have done it over here for the DAG, this common sub expression, that is 2 times B minus C, would be now removed and it would be replaced by only one single. So when we call the mkleaf IDA is repeated on the line 2, the node constructed by the previous call mkleaf IDA is returned. So the previous one is going to be returned. It's not going to generate with a new one. So P1 is equals to P2. Similarly, the nodes returned on the lines 8 and 9. What would be the 8 and 9? It would be B minus C, are the same as those returned on the lines 3 and 4. Hence the node returned on the line 10 must be the same one that was constructed for the node on line number 5. Line number 5, that is B minus C. In this way we have constructed the DAG. Let us again go for the DAG. I repeat it once again. This is a DAG, that is the common sub expressions. We have generated it for only once, not multiple times, because if we would have gone with this example is going to be A plus A into B minus C plus B minus C. It's 2 times B minus C. So what we have done it, the common sub expressions we have represented in a single, which has 2 parents. What were the 2 parents? One was for this asterisk and the another one was for this asterisk. So there would have been 2 times B minus C. One of the B minus C is going to be connected by this asterisk, that is B minus C. Second asterisk, this asterisk would have been connected B minus C. Same way there would have been 2A, one A over here and the second A over here. Now if that would have been my past, the syntax tree, how I would have gone evaluated? So that B minus C at 2 ends, we have combined it into one single. So this combining into one single B minus C, that is the same repeated nodes that we have constructed with the previous one. That is over here P8 and P9, that is the same as that of P3 and P4. P10 is going to be the same as that of a P5. So whenever this P8 and P9 and P10 are going to be called, it's going to be replaced by P3, P4 and P5. In this way we make use of the DAG, that is a directed acyclic graph. That's the representation of a symbol tree. Now if I am going to take with this one, that is another example of a simple DAG, that is I is equals to I plus 10. I can get it as I equal to, if I would have been got a syntax tree, I equal to plus I plus 10. So this I and this I have got it combined into one single node. That is another representation of a DAG for the simple example I equals to I plus 10. So I hope that with this contents for the syntax tree, that is how to construct a syntax tree, may be clear. Some of the things that we need to remember for constructing a syntax tree is basics, that is the functions mknode, mkleaf and mkleaf. One is for an ID and another is for a number. Second part we need to know is the productions, the semantic rules in a postfix notation. Thirdly, we need to construct a parse tree. After constructing the parse tree, we annotate it. Annotate it means we put with the values, that is over here as .nptr. Next is based on the semantic rules that we have written it in the postfix notation, or let it be by the help of the functions. We are going to generate it for the leaves, then for the interior node, then again for the node and the leaves. In this manner, if we connect it, this represents a syntax